Let's speak to commentator futurist Mal Fletcher. Always has wise words on these things. Mal, this is such difficult territory. The idea that you can solve a problem just by banning something always makes alarm bells ring for me. What do you think of this suggestion from the Health Secretary?
Yeah, good morning, David. Look, I've long argued that social media companies ought to be treated like drug companies because of the now proven links between social media use and internet addiction, for example. Drugs are subject to government regulation. When you use a drug, whether it's for your physical or mental health, you can be sure that the government has deemed it fairly safe. The same should apply to social media platforms. Or we might take the approach we use with film ratings. Movies are at least given a rating by a film board based on their suitability for certain age groups. We do the same with television programs. Why can't that be applied to social media as the very least form of regulation?
So how would this work then? You'd go onto a social media, so you'd go onto Facebook, and it would have... How different would it look?
Well, it might not look a lot different, but it would need to have some sort of a badge, at the very least, as I say. More could be done, but at the least form of regulation might be a badge on the site that says this is not recommended for people under the age of X. I do think it needs to go further so that there needs to be some policing of, someone signing on needs to have some proof of their age. We do that with airlines. We do it with other sites. Why couldn't it be done with Facebook and other sites? And look, by the way, there's another story in the papers today, David, about how Facebook is allegedly blocking an app that monitors political interference on its platform. So Facebook clearly practices censorship when it suits the company, but when it comes to, as they see it, interfering with the activities of private users, they're not interested. It's a blatant double standard, and only government has the power to challenge that.
What about the notion that these companies are merely holding up a mirror to society? They're not doing any harm. They're really reflecting our own thoughts, behaviours, feelings, and so on.
Well, I think they go further than that. But I would argue that, if you reflect the thing often enough, you reinforce it too. So if you reflect the bad side of something, that's what young people are going to be most influenced by. And look, social media groups want to hold up this placard that says, we're just a platform. We're not the publishers or news curators of our time, but they are, and they have to accept social responsibility. They're not just the maverick organisations, part of a wild west of the internet as they once were. They're now multinational corporations. They rake in huge profits from advertising, selling our data, and they pay very little tax. So they can't behave like the put-upon little guys or just the neutral platforms. They have to be made to take responsibility.
Thank you very much. Wise words always from Mal Fletcher.